It's my life. Lazy. It's my life. I got dirty. It's my life. I want shopping. It's my life. Money.
Cheers.
How y'all doing out there in TV land? Chime on in.
It's Potivision, baby. Potivision.
Oh yeah, well,
You know what I'm saying? You did.
YouTube is now the new TV, and
Yes.
regular TV no longer exists.
Yes.
So
Regular TV hasn't existed for quite some time.
that's why I say television.
They took analog away so long ago.
That's why I say television, because everybody watches TV through streaming now.
Remember?
So that is our television.
Remember when you used to watch TV late at night at 2:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning? Yeah, and then they had yep. And then they had the colorful flags going up and down. You was like, damn, TV just went off.
Yeah, not too many people know about that.
What you trying to say?
That they're not old enough to know about that particular thing. What you trying to say?
It sounds like you trying to say I'm old.
Baby, you old. Now, you happy with that now?
Wow.
Okay, so I didn't have to try to say it. You're old.
Wow.
Just like I am.
Wow. No, you old.
Yeah, but you old.
I'm not old. Look at me.
Look at
you.
What
about me makes you think I'm old?
Just about how you just said, what about me makes me think that's what makes your ass old. You old. I can't see the comments when you have it like that, man.
Oh my God.
Brother have a hard time reading this small print, let alone reading it up.
You know there. You can blow your page up. You want to say
not blowing nothing up. Just do what you're supposed to do.
Anyway, y'all, welcome to the show tonight. I am Treasure Cheltenham, and I am one of the hams.
I'm Sean Cheltenham, and I'm one of the hams, and thank you for chiming on in.
And together we are the hams.
And this is the ham show.
The ham show.
This is the ham show. Yeah, thank you for chiming on in. Let me see who came in the building. Who hit the likes up? Shea Butter Clemens with the like, and then Frank. How you say his last name?
Frank Collier.
Collier.
That's like French and shit.
Yeah, something like that, right?
So you got to say it like
Collier. One of them out of the country last name.
You got to roll your tongue. You know what I'm saying?
And one awful day in the building.
Just one awful day. You know what? I work today. I cut myself. It's pretty bad, but it's not bad.
You need stitches.
I do not need stitches.
Yeah,
this liquid Band-Aid is working perfectly fine.
Good luck with that.
I had a great day. I worked.
You ain't doing that.
I did work. I cut myself and everything. I bled today.
With little O.
Odessa.
Yeah, you was hanging out with Odessa. But yeah,
shout out to Odessa I met today.
If you just now chiming on in, go ahead and send us a like, a share, and a subscribe if you new to the channel.
Cheers.
And then cheers. And then if you're not new to the channel, just hit us up with a like for the algorithm and help us out with that. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. And chime on in. Hey, could you put the links up there tonight just in case somebody want to go ahead and
tonight? I definitely welcome the guests to chime in tonight.
every night.
Especially tonight. Tonight gonna be a good one. He said, "Don't want to get no drug test." Actually, Cuzzo,
you right, Cuzzo.
I don't have to take a drug test when I injure myself. That's in our contract. Not concerned about that. Besides,
she ain't want to.
I'll pass anyway.
Jordan with the like, thank you, with the love heart thing.
So the invite is in the chat. So
Shea Butter Clemens with the heart and all that.
If you feeling froggish and you want to chime on in, we talking about tonight. You hit that invite.
Why you sound like a midnight radio host? If you just want to chime on in and talk about the,
because I'm tired. I'm tired because I work tonight.
This is Potivision. What did you do?
I'm tired because I work.
Well, you better pep your step up.
Wow.
Don't nobody care about if we tired or not.
Y'all don't like my Potivision voice.
Nobody cares.
I'm telling you, this is what it is. This is what it is.
The whole world don't even care. All they care about.
Don't hate on me today.
I'm not hating on you. I'm just telling you what's facts.
Act right.
Facts are facts.
Act right.
Facts over fiction.
We talking about manning up.
Oh yeah. Are we?
Groom me.
I'm not quite sure what that means
Baby,
for this particular show, but I'm
tonight.
gonna participate.
It was just an attention getter. That's all. It's just to kind of grab people's like, get over here. That's all. Just
Don't touch me. So how y'all doing out there tonight?
you asked him that already.
Yeah, I'm asking again. How y'all doing out there all night? Is everybody good out there? Everything's going smooth for you? Hopefully everything is.
Can you do the Miss Clock call me? Whose voice is that?
The Miss Cleo.
I don't know. Miss Cleo?
Cleo has got the Jamaican
Oh, you
voice.
talking about the Read Your Palm bitch.
Yeah.
That was taking everybody money.
Yeah, that was taking people money, talking about
Cleo called you. She said,
about.
"This is Miss Cleo. I don't want to talk to you. I see in your future that you're going to come into a very large sum of money."
Here we go.
I can't do Miss Cleo. I forgot what she sounded like.
You can't do Miss Cleo.
I gotta hear her again. If I hear her again, then I could do it.
If you hear her again, you can do it.
Yeah, I gotta hear this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's pull up Miss Cleo then. Let's
Oh,
find her.
Lord.
Where's she at?
Here
I know
we
she
go
on
with the
YouTube somewhere. Somebody can
shenanigans.
put her up there.
He's literally gonna find Miss Cleo. Tonight we talking about grooming, and we talking about the word grooming, and we're talking to the men, the women, and we asking this question. Did he really just pulled up Miss Cleo, y'all?
There she is.
Pretty sure he's gonna share it with y'all.
I'm gonna show you right now, Miss Cleo.
This is absolutely terrible.
Hopefully y'all understand what's happening here.
I mean, hey man, don't act like y'all didn't know who Miss Cleo was, bro. For real, Miss Cleo was the business.
Yeah, Miss Cleo was on every night.
This shouldn't be good.
Here you go, y'all.
The stupid young one or the married one?
The married one.
That's what me thought. Don't go. You hear me?
That's what me thought.
That's what me thought.
You're going. I see you going.
Take the page, baby.
I'm telling you,
I'm
trying to help you to avoid the heartache. Don't go blindly through life. Let me use the power of the tarot to show you the way. Call me now for your free reading.
Call 1-800-355-3765.
How many of you crazy people out there that got a tarot reading, a tarot reading, or whatever the hell they call it?
Call me now for your free reading. That's what me thought. He said, "Thanks, cuz, babe, my night." That's what we do for you live.
I know that was nostalgic for most folks. We're trying to wait for people to chime on in. So if
in the meantime,
y'all got something to say, go ahead and say it now.
Say it with your chest, though. We'll take a quick question. Where's my question banner at?
Yeah, do something.
What? I was doing something. Damn it. Tell me.
He's over there nursing that finger that needs stitches.
I don't need stitches. Look, it ain't even bleeding. And it bled all day until I got home.
When you put 30 pounds of super glue on your hand, it ain't gonna bleed until you take a shower.
Nah, I put a couple layers on there.
Any questions, y'all, before we get started on this situation we got here? Sorry, I ain't have no dinner yet, so I was eating some chips.
Oh yeah, you get to eat, but when I eat, it's a problem.
That's because you smack.
Whatever. We finna get into it. They can figure it out when they get here.
You eat like a desert camel.
So anywho.
And then when you get mad, you cry like them too. You be like, ah.
The camels don't even do that. Yeah, the llamas do.
Camels and llamas.
They both do it?
Yeah.
I seen the llamas do it. They had their tongue sticking out and
llamas
shit. Camels spit on you too.
Camels will drool on you. They ain't gonna hawk a loogie up on you.
That's nasty.
A llama will hawk a loogie on you.
That's so disrespectful.
They'll bring it from down under.
That's so disrespectful.
Be like, who it, tui, right on your forehead.
That's so disrespectful.
Yeah, they ain't cool. They not nice creatures. They're really ornery.
He said, "Watch out, they spit."
For sure.
So peep gang, the word grooming.
Oh Lord, why are you talking so soft? What's going on?
What is
I'm
wrong?
not used to this.
What is wrong with the way I'm speaking?
Yeah, peep this. The world. Come on now, put some pep in your throat, like Get back to the old you.
You gonna leave me alone.
Chop. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna leave me alone tonight.
I want that old thing back.
No, you don't.
Oh, here we go.
No.
All right, it's gonna be a long show, y'all.
No, it's not.
Go ahead, tell them what
I
you
ain't saying shit. Now.
Chime on in,
I ain't
baby.
got nothing to say no more.
You don't have nothing to say. You quit?
I done.
You quit?
I ain't quit. I'm just done.
Good. I'm
on timeout.
Yeah, well, timeout then. Be quiet. So, Cuzzo, how you doing out there, man? Who else is out there? We got, well, looks like we only got 2 people out there right now. Well, according to my thing. Well, 4 now. Look like Jordan out there. One Awful Day is out there, and then nobody else chime in. Hey, if you just now coming in, go ahead and say something in the chat. Say how you doing, what's up, type of 1, put a FU or something, an emoji or something in that mug. You done being quiet over there? Oh, you want a couple more minutes? Okay. So y'all, we got the jewelry show. Mr. Wendell West is in the building. We got the jewelry show in town. So if you want some jewelry, go ahead and send me some money to my Cash App, and I'll go pick it up for you. And don't forget to add them nigga fees.
I'll go pick it up for you. There's Roddy. We missed you. We ain't heard from you in a couple
Roddy
of weeks.
Been? Mr. Wendell West in the building.
Wendell's in the building. Y'all gonna like tonight.
Roddy, where you been, man?
You see, you got to change your white name.
Who said that?
One Awful Day. Yeah, because remember, you manifest stuff. So if you got one awful day, you gonna have one awful day. Your shit should be rainbows and ribbons, and don't do that. I'm just playing.
Okay, well, yeah, what we talking about tonight, man?
You every time I try to talk about you, tell me to be quiet.
I ain't said nothing.
3 people heard you tell me that.
I don't care who heard you.
I'm gonna play the bean footage back.
I'll play Cleo again. You keep playing.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
Well,
So this is what we talking about tonight. We're talking about grooming, and we're talking about the word grooming, and we're talking about the negative connotations that goes with the word grooming. We're talking about where the word, oh, your YouTube. Oh, I thought that meant white. I didn't know. Roddy on some travel. See, Roddy, we're trying to be like you when we grow up. But we're talking about the word grooming and why it has such a negative connotation amongst women. So we talking about.
Well, why would y'all have negative connotations on what grooming is?
Because just like
we talking about hair grooming, like what kind of grooming we talking about?
We're talking about a man grooming a woman.
Oh, okay. So you talking about the groom, like the husband, the
yes.
groom. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what negative connotations would a woman have for marrying? Why would they marry a dude and not take instruction?
Because under false principles.
And what are those?
False principles is coming up in a broken atmosphere with a broken foundation. So you have broken thoughts. And for most women who didn't grow up with a father or lack thereof, I feel like had issues with being able to understand how men think, how they speak, and to understand when their movement. So it's funny thinking about just like even with myself, like I grew up, fatherless for the most part. My dad was in and out of my life and never really was there, and that's just what it is. I don't need no therapy or no emojis and no shit like that. That's just what it is. So, but I did have father figures. I was blessed enough to have father figures that I could look at and see how they raised their children, how they carry themselves as men, how they shook hands, how they looked at another man, their body language. I was able to watch those things. And so there were certain things that was also within my DNA that I believe was instilled from my mom. Because my mom, she married very young. She married at like 16 or something like that, but she married to get out of an abusive household. So she married, came all the way from Louisiana out to like La Pointe or something like that with my siblings before she had me. And she was married up until the police murdered her husband. So she has always had that foundation herself. So I think that was something that was also embedded in my DNA. And I never looked at like, let's get into it. The whole independent woman thing, right? INDEPE, all that bullshit, right? The one to be equal. First and foremost, let me tell you this. We do not want to be equal to men. We're not equal That's just not how it works. And when you look at it from a biblical standpoint, we're talking, we're not equal, but when you put us together, we make one. He needs me just as much as I need him.
How are they not equal? Explain that so they can get some type of, or do you know how they're not?
Oh, I can explain it.
Okay.
I can explain it in a sense.
People can get some type of understanding of what we're talking about when we say
I can explain it in a sense of different aspects. First aspect of men carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. They are the providers, right? That's number one. They're the providers. What up, Steph? They're the providers of the family. They're the head of the household. Their job is to protect, to take care. So imagine having all of that weight. And I'm not talking about the single mothers out there. I'm not talking to you guys. And the reason I'm not talking to you guys is because when you have to step into that role, that is a masculine role that you've stepped into. So now you're stepping out of your femininity to step into a masculine role because you are forced to. I'm not talking to you. So when he has to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders, because these are the things that goes through his mind. I need to make sure my family is taken care of. I need to provide for them. I need to make sure they got a place to stay, that the lights and the gas is on. I can't stop. I got to grind. I got to go, 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 go. Women have the luxury of not having to think that way, because we think of, oh, I'm just going to find a man that's going to take care of me and blah, blah, da, 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 right? You're taught that Prince Charming is going to sweep you up off your feet and rescue you and take you into this big house and live this happy, long, beautiful life. And let's be honest, that's not reality. And that's not the way it's set up as far as the principles. And we're talking from a biblical standpoint. So when you take the fact that a man has to carry all of this and a woman gets to reap the benefits of the fruits of this man's labor, they're not the same. They're not equal. You will never be equal. There was a woman who decided to live as a man because she wanted to understand what it was like to live as a man, and she ended up committing suicide because it was too difficult to live in this world as a man.
So how does that involve when a man is going to marry a woman or they're actually married? What is the grooming process? Like, shouldn't the grooming process happen before they get married and then continuation of the grooming process?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just like when I talked about that today, just like when you vet your significant other, you know, you should vet.
Let's say married, because I don't believe in significant others. Significant other means is that we're accepting a gay marriage.
When I say significant other, I mean your boyfriend or girlfriend who are not yet married.
When I'm talking about marriage, I'm talking about a husband and a wife.
No, absolutely.
Not
I'm
a
with
wife
you.
and a wife and a husband and a husband.
I'm with you 100%. So when you talk about the beginning stages of it, like you begin first of all, when he met me, I was in a bad place in my life. I didn't have a job. I had lost my job. I was going through it. I was looking for a job. I was not mentally stable for a relationship. And I told this man, I said, you might want to go and steer clear of me. Just this ain't what you want. I'm not good right now.
That was a situation for like,
I was just about to say what you said.
The man you married, like, okay, there's men out there that care if you have a job, or they care if you have what accolades that women think are strong. I don't give two shits about those.
A man doesn't. A man doesn't because the thought process of a man.
I'm looking for a wife, not a person who can go to work.
The thought process of a man is, I need a helpmate. I need somebody to take care of my house, to take care of my kids, to take care of me, in a sense of, and this is the thing with a lot of women. They go, take care of. I ain't here to take care of no nigga. That's why you single, bitch.
Yeah, you probably single because of that.
That's why you single. Because your thought process is incorrect, and you take it to the extreme with this whole thing. And it's like grooming, if you go and look at what it says in the Bible, we're going to get into that, what it actually says in the Bible about grooming and the groom and what his job is to do. Now, this man has groomed me from the time he met me. But
we still in the process.
We still in there,
I don't
but
think that'll ever go away.
That's never going to go away.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying though, I'm getting to a point. Stop it. So this man has groomed me to where I am today. But when you groom, that means to polish. That means to shine. That means to make better, to make greater, to push in the positive direction. So in return from him grooming me, I gained more wisdom and knowledge on life itself and as a whole. And then I, in return, gave him that same wisdom and knowledge. Because when I do that, when we go back and forth, it makes us equally yoked. It makes us one. Remember, I said we are not the same, but together we make what's whole in the eyes of God.
Yeah, let's answer a couple questions. Jordan said the grooming process to me is the process of getting the woman to like me. That's funny. I guess that's a way. That's not the type of grooming I'm talking about. The type of grooming is that I'm trying to explain is to bring a woman into my situation and let her know this is how I would like my household to operate. These are the roles that I'll take. It's actually like an operations of order of operations on how things should work with you and her, and then you guys agree or you don't agree, and whatever you don't agree on, you work it out and come up with some type of solution, and then you submit to each other. When I say submission, I'm talking about you apply. That means that you submit. The submission I'm talking about is meaning that I agree with what you're saying, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be down with that.
Right.
That's the grooming we're talking about. Everything needs grooming.
Right.
When your household needs grooming, when it needs to be clean. What happened there?
Ryan said grooming is terrible. Then when you said that's the type of grooming I'm talking about, he said, whoops, my bad, wrong context.
We're talking about grooming in marriage, like when you guys sit. I mean, how it's really supposed to work is when you are interested in a person for marriage purposes, you guys are supposed to sit down and talk these things out. Marriage, kids, bills, who gonna work, who ain't gonna work,
the
budgets, how things will be paid for,
right?
What type of clothing.
These are the conversations how we should supposed to have, like
right. How you should present yourself in public. Like when I'm in public with my wife, I would like for my wife to act like a lady in the streets.
Part.
And if you don't know what a lady is, look up Old English lady, and then that's the type of lady I would like. I don't want her twerking in the street. I don't want her showing too much booty and titty. I want her to not be confrontational. I want her to act like a lady. I want her to say lady things while she's representing me in the household.
And just to piggyback off of that, I made a point on that just the other day, and I'm like, listen, when I leave the house, I am now a representation of a legacy. See, like, I don't think y'all understand.
You taking the last name of someone else, that means you are a representation of that person. You're an extension of the person that you took the last name of. And if you're not operating in that capacity, you're being disrespectful to the marriage or whatever covenant that you guys had made together.
Right. So I walk a certain way, I speak a certain way, because people look at him and I as royalty. Like, there's some of y'all out here watching right now that look at us that way. And that means something to us. So we conduct ourselves accordingly, because of we don't want to put, first of all, we already got too much negativity against our people. So when I go out of the house, I want to make sure that people understand we are not all the same. We're not all the same. And so even with ensuring that I represent my husband and his legacy and his name well, he does the same for me. So it's a push and a pull. And the grooming process, like I said before, because we're going to get into that definition in a minute. The grooming process, people take that word and they just run with it and make it seem like it's just so negative. And you're supposed to be, Jordan say they not like us. A minor. Right. But the grooming process, you're supposed to be groomed in a sense to be a better person. And if the man is the head of the house and he's the leader and you respect him enough to follow him, because that's in return, that's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. And the way you set up your household is the way you set up your household. But for us, he don't touch a bill, see a bill, know about a bill. They just get paid.
And that's how we structured our house. Like if I'm going to be doing the hustle and bustling, I don't want to come home and do administration. I do tell her what needs to be done. And she says, yeah, that do need to be done. And then we agree. And then she does whatever she's supposed to do.
It gets done.
Yeah. So the way we're set up, we're more, I can't say we're completely traditional, because if that was the case, you'd be a homemaker,
right? And
then I would be, working and taking care of all the finances. I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but the way things are now, I need her to help me meet certain situations financially.
And let me clarify that, because realistically, that's for us to play. That's what I work for. I work for me to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I like going to the spa. I like getting my nails done. I like getting my toes done. I like shit like that. I like to make sure he has those things as well, even though he doesn't take care of himself as much as I want him to. I do. So with that being said, that's why I do what I do. I do what I do because I like to have play money. I like to go do things. I like to just frolic. Not and not to say that we couldn't frolic, but it would be different.
I make enough for us to frolic, but we wouldn't have. We would be living in a smaller place,
right? We
wouldn't have all this square footage that we have. We wouldn't have the multiple cars because we wouldn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
We would,
it would just be different,
and especially like because we're conservative with our finances or how we handle things. It wouldn't make sense to have all this extra stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Stephen, what do you mean by, could you explain to me how a woman can be a groom?
But men need to be groomed as well.
Right. So if you're saying that means a woman is capable of being a groom. Could you explain that? Because I'm not understanding what that means.
Yeah, I'm going to put the invite in there.
Let me give you a couple minutes to type that in if you're still there. I'm
gonna put the invite in.
I'm not quite sure how a woman can be a groom. Usually, when a man, well, in my particular situation, when my wife married me, or when I married my wife, because she can't marry me, I married her. She was coming into my thought process. I was the head, so her grooming me. If she has to groom me, wouldn't that be that I wouldn't be a man? Like I wouldn't be ready to be married if she had to groom me?
I don't know because I feel men need to understand women's needs and wants as well. Okay, I got this. So understanding a woman's needs and wants comes down to understanding that particular woman. That goes with the process of grooming and vetting in the beginning. When you say a man needs to be groomed as well, you're basically saying another man is going to groom this man. See, I want everybody to be clear what we're talking about here. We're talking about in a marriage. You can't groom. if a man needs to be groomed,
he's not ready.
He's not ready to groom anything.
Yeah, he ain't ready.
You shouldn't be talking to a woman.
He's not what he's considered to be a man if you have to be groomed by someone else.
Right. We still talking about a little boy at this point.
Yeah.
So if you got to be now, if you're talking about the woman sharing her wants and needs, that's in the vetting process.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that while you guys are
knew
engaged.
That before you got married.
That's what engagement is for. Sometimes in some countries, engagements last like for 5 years.
Oh yeah.
So that's what the engagement phase is for. Usually people get engaged and they don't talk about what they're supposed to do. My mother, she recommends marriage counseling because in Western culture, we don't do engagements like they do in Eastern cultures.
Right.
Like engagement is where you vet the person, where you go, hey, for instance, hey, sweetheart, I'm a Teamster. This is how much I make a year. This is what I can afford. This is what I'm going to provide. These are the type of protections you will receive. And you go, hey, I kind of like that. That's cool. But I like to get my nails done every now and then. I want to get my hair did. And I go, you know what? I think I can provide that.
Right.
And then you guys could, that's what a covenant is about. A covenant is a contract. And that's what a marriage is. A covenant is when you sit down and say, hey, you follow these guidelines and we will be forever together.
Right.
If you can't follow them, that's what vows are. They disguise them with different words. They say vows. What do they call them? Prenuptials.
Yeah.
They call them different stuff. But you're supposed to work all your prenuptials out in the engagement phase.
Yep.
That's where all your prenuptials are done. Now, whether you write them down on paper, that's up to y'all. But you should never have to be groomed by your wife when you're trying to get married. You should be ready. You should know what's going on.
Let me just clarify. A woman can never.
They can't be a man. They can't show you how to be a man.
And this is why I say to the single mothers who are screaming out, I'm the mama and the daddy. No, you're not. You're just the mama. A woman cannot ever teach a man how to be a man. She knows nothing about doing it.
One Awful Day says, from what I am understanding, you're talking about establishing a bond where you and your partner are communicating and acting in each other's best interest. Yeah, that's what
it's part of it.
That's what engagement is. When you engage with somebody, it's time to talk about what each other's best interests are and if we are capable of completing those tasks. That's exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm. Steph had a better understanding on the grooming process.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
we're gonna get into it.
What did he say?
What was that?
Yeah,
would a mentor be considered as a groomer?
Yeah, a coach or a mentor.
He's considered as a mentor.
Yeah.
That's what he's considered as.
Yeah. So like he's teaching you how to be the groom. He's not a groomer for you.
Grooming you.
He's not grooming you. He's teaching you how to be a groom. So you can take those principles and then apply them to the person that you were trying to be with.
Does that give you a better understanding?
I don't know what that emoji means.
And like, man.
No,
Steph do. What the fuck? So yeah, when have an understanding that in order to groom your wife, you have already reached the status of a man, which means you've had mentors, motivators, counselors, therapists, blase blah, who have taught you the necessary skills to be a man, what it means to be a man, what it means to stand on your feet and be a man, to understand how to walk, talk, smell, breathe like a man. And so once you reach that status, now you are because you're being prepared for your wife ultimately. So once you reach that status, now you become the groom in search of your bride.
Normally your family and your uncles, your cousins, your father, they're supposed to vet you on on how to operate when it's time for you to get married. Because we're in Western culture, we live in a society where we don't keep families together like we should, and we miss those teachings, those proper teachings that should be handed down from family to family. Baby, when you read this passage, could you please start from 21 instead of 25?
Okay. I gotta go back. I just lost it.
Huh? You want me to pull it up so you can see it up?
No, I got it.
We're gonna read you an excerpt from Ephesians 5, starting at 21. I know we put 25 through 28, but really 21 needs to be said.
All right, here we go. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21.
Oh, it's not up. Put it up there for them to see it.
Oh, you want me to share it?
Yeah, I want you to share it.
Okay.
That way they don't think you're just reading some shit. Like when you read from the Bible, they need to be able to read it for themselves.
That part.
And
I got you.
And like, you know what I'm saying? So there's nothing confusing about what's happening.
Not a problem. Give me a second. Let me pull this up for you all here. All right.
And blow that
We're
thing.
good. Everybody can see.
Hopefully y'all can see that. Looks like the writing. Well, I don't know how it looks for it. Let me look on my screen. Does it look good?
It should be okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
Should be okay. So
Yeah,
we're
they can
talking
read that.
about Ephesians.
Start from 21, please.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the wife's head, even as Christ is the head of the church, and the same is the Savior of his body. Therefore, as the church is in subjection to Christ, even so let the wives be to their husbands in everything.
In everything.
All right. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify it and cleanse it by the washing of water through the word, that he might make it unto himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blame. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Now, my question is, in reading that, right? Just reading that alone, how can you find negative connotation in that? And this is what I mean by simply not just understanding and reading the Bible and understanding what it means to be groomed by your husband. What gives you a negative connotation on what I just read? And that's the scary part.
So let's, even if you're not religious or what you would consider a believer, what was just reading that alone, what's wrong with that principle?
Right.
Like even the principles that we find. Okay, so a lot of people say they're not religious and they don't believe in God and such, but they follow godly principles.
Right.
Without even knowing it, because they haven't read it in the Bible or they don't understand what's going on. Like the 48 laws, those are godly principles.
They are. And to a person who don't understand what the 48 laws are, to hear some of them, it sounds like manipulation in a negative sense. It sounds bad. And like I say, manipulation is not a negative word. We use it negatively. I did something last night. Steph, I'm gonna get to your comment in a second. I did something last night with my daughter's boyfriend, and I told him to ask me a question. And he asked me a question. He asked me for something, and I said no, just like that, no. And so I said, "How did that make you feel?" He was like, "Well, it felt like you're just being mean and angry and blah blah blah, right? Whatever." So I said, "Ask me a question." He asked me another question. I said, "No." I said, "How did that make you feel?" He said, "Well, it felt like you were playing and you wasn't very serious about it." I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "So let me ask you another question. What is 70% of language?" He gets the question right. He says his body language. I said, then why the fuck did my tone bother you? Right. When at the end of the day, no matter how I said it, I still meant no. He paused and looked at me like, wow.
In translation, in that, like, right is right, wrong is wrong. And wherever the information comes from, if it's going to benefit you and your lifestyle, and
stop looking at how the person is saying it
or
and their
who
tone.
It's coming from.
Right. Because you can get valuable information from the devil.
Yep.
Valuable information.
And usually he tell you he about to be evil as fuck.
That part
I'm
right
about
there.
to do all this shit to you. And
you gonna like it.
You gonna like it, but you might not like it because what I'm finna do
is
fuck your motherfucking life.
So Steph goes, honestly, I feel like I'm learning. I grew up thinking it was just to work and support the family. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Steph. If you still feel like you're learning, you're not ready to be a groom.
And it's okay.
Not to say that a groom doesn't continuously learn, because education does not stop.
I learn all day, every day. I learn something new all the time. And just to let you guys know, before we had this show today, I consulted in my parents to make sure that I was coming across the proper way, because I'm trying to model myself off of their lifestyle and how they did their covenant. Because even though I grew up in their covenant, I was a part of it. I wanted to make sure that my principles were sound from what they taught. Now, a lot of things wasn't said verbally to me from my parents as a child,
saw it.
But I got to watch it. Right. I got to watch hands and feet go to work, and how not go to work like to a job. I'm talking about go to work in their marriage, where I can see, oh, this is what a marriage is supposed to look like.
Right. And it's funny because I'm one of them people that when my mother-in-law or mother-in-law, we say mother-in-law on this side of town, but when she speaks, I shush the fuck up.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to be quiet.
I get quiet because I'm listening. I'm hanging on every word this woman of God is giving as far as her wisdom, because that is going to help me be a better woman. That is going to help me in my marriage when it's time for me to give my husband some wisdom in understanding our girls, in understanding different parts of life. Like, we teach each other.
There's not been a time where I haven't consulted in my wife and said her consultation from a question that I would ask her, though I had the ultimate choice in the end, I still considered her thought process, because it was something that I don't have and that's not built in me. So how I use my wife is I'm trying to understand the feminine side of the thought process. Was I too hard when I said this? Because in actuality, I could have said the same shit, just in a different way, and to keep my kids from being emotional, because I preach in my house facts over feelings, period. Like,
and our girls, though it's been difficult because they are females, they are emotional. Why did dad have to say it like that? Dad didn't speak to me when he came in the house. Dad didn't. And I'm like, baby, your daddy loves you. Just because he didn't speak to you doesn't mean he hates you, dislikes you, or is mad at you. He just got home from work. You know what his position entails. We don't know what's going on through his mind right now. Let's give him a moment. Let's let him sit down. Let's let him calm down. Let's let him enjoy being home, kick off his shoes, breathe, and then let's just see where he's at. He might just need a hug.
That type of wisdom is pertinent to the father in children's situation, is because a lot of times they don't get the knowledge or the understanding of what a father goes through out in the street, and then has to debrief in a 30-minute ride home. Sometimes that 30 minutes isn't long enough. Then you got fathers that they go to the bar to debrief. See, I'm not that type of dad. I come home and I try to deal with my bullshit. Sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. But it's always good to have my wife, my helpmeet, to help me meet expectations with my children and say, look, your dad had a day and that's just what it is. And he's probably tired, such and such. It just helps. And I know that they want me around. They want to talk. They probably want to pick my brain. And but it sometimes I'm available in my thought process, and other times
he's not.
There's nothing that I want to say that's nice. And it has nothing to do with them.
Right. And they now understand this. So when he comes home and he says, hey, y'all, love y'all, go into my room, everybody knows what that means. That means leave me alone. I've had a day. I love you. But this energy that I have on me right now, this ain't for you. And you don't deserve it.
Yeah, and
you don't deserve it. So I'm not going to stick around.
I'm going to take it and remove. It's part of my responsibility to
protect you.
And so if I'm not in that mood, I need to go ahead and just put myself to bed.
Remove myself from the situation.
And tuck myself in or go to my office. See, my office is at my house. I don't go to the bar or do drugs to get away from my situation. Right. I reflect on my thought process and try to keep me sane while my wife is helping me keep sane. A lot of the things that she's been a great helpmeet when it came to the kids, because though they think that I didn't have a say in it, she ran it by me before she even spoke to them about what the outcome was going to be. And it's easy for me to negotiate with my wife because I married her and not them.
Well, I mean, you did, but
no, you don't marry your children. They're
a package.
They're a product. They're a product of inheritance.
Right.
The person I made a covenant with was with you.
Right.
They're inheriting the covenant.
Right.
So when I deal with them is through you because you're their head.
And that's exactly how it took me a while to understand what was happening. Because like I say, I'm a better woman because of this man. He's a better man because of me. It goes both ways. We've taught each other over the years. We've loved on each other. We've been there for each other. We've uplifted. We've shared dreams. We learned that our dreams are exactly the same. They're identical. So when I tell you, I tell him all the time, I'm like, you were designed for me. And at the end of the day, okay, so people who know me, they know my life. My life is this way because of who and what I am. I give him peace. I make sure he has his peace. His peace is important. I need him to have his peace so he can function. He has enough to deal with. Remember, the world is on his shoulders.
It comes from the top down. So like if I can't find peace, nobody will have peace. No one. Right. So it's top down. So she understands because she's helping me meet obligations that are in the street. And then I come home and I'm beat up and battered. Then she goes, oh, he needs to see peace. That way, when he do come downstairs, then it's all good. But if I'm not receiving that, she knows what the house needs. I know what the house needs. And we're both obligated. And we've sat down to make sure that this is how things were going to function.
Right.
And we agreed to it, which is submission. Submission means that you agree. Not that I put you in chains.
Right. Like
I don't know why
we
people
gotta
get that.
We gotta stop. Like you guys,
when you submit. Oh, hold on. Let me tell.
Go ahead.
So man. when you want to watch Netflix, you get a subscription. Subscription is just a synonym of submission.
That's it.
It means the same thing.
You submitted your payment.
Subscribed. When I married my wife, I wanted her to subscribe to the legacy that I was trying to build. I wouldn't have married her if she didn't know or understand what I was trying to do. Why would I put someone in my camp or in my presence that was going to battle against what I was trying to build? And I put up a door over here and she takes a sledgehammer and knocks it down.
And you got to understand, this person is your right hand.
I don't understand how
they got to trust them literally with your life.
This may sound like a tangent, but at the same time, I think it's relevant. Why the hell would you marry somebody or be with someone when they're tearing it down?
Bro.
And then call that a covenant.
Bro.
That's crazy.
Your wife or your husband is supposed to make you better. Period.
And Jordan, you are correct. We have the best examples. I feel like what I received in my lifetime from my parents is rare now, when it was supposed to be normacy,
right,
for the whole world. What you and I have received from our parents is beyond rubies, it's beyond diamonds, it's beyond gold. Everything. I was just talking to a guy today, and he was at work. He's 23 or 25, or he's either 23 or 25, and he said today that not today, but he said recently he just realized that what he does, the choices he makes today dictates the life he leads tomorrow. I said, oh, so that was the day you became an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm already an adult. I said, no, you wasn't, because adults know that the choices I make today is going to change an outcome in the future.
Yep.
And they work for that purpose. That gives an adult a purpose to move forward. What people think that adulting is that, oh, because I pay a bill, because I feed myself,
because I'm legally grown,
or because I'm legally grown, or I'm able to vote, that means that you're adult.
Or I can buy a bottle of liquor.
In actuality, it's a part of being adult, but you haven't become an adult until you realize that the choices that you make today dictate the life we lead tomorrow. And he was like, damn, thanks for that. I was like, bro, I didn't even think I was going to tell you that. That's just what happened. That's just what happened.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But to say this is that when you are a groom and you get married, you're already ready. You're already complete on the task that you want to have done for your family.
You're ready to be a groom. You're ready to start grooming. Now, again, that doesn't say that you've stopped learning, growing, and educating yourself.
Every day. Like it took me almost 12 years to figure out how to talk to my daughters.
Literally. And even we had a conversation the other day when we were talking about how you were the guardian of my peace.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was able to break down to me past stuff that occurred in our life where he was like, I wasn't able to explain this to you then. The younger me couldn't find the words, but the man I am today with the wisdom that I now have, I can articulate this better where you understand this is what I was doing then. And when he said it, I said, that's exactly what you were doing. And I could even explain to the kids what was happening. They was just mad.
Yeah, everybody's just upset because I was a disrupt. Like first of all, we have a blended family. Two of my children don't come from me, so they don't have the natural DNA to understand my mannerisms,
right?
Or how I speak, or how I address the situation.
They had to learn it.
They had to learn it, and they're still learning, just like I'm still learning how to deal with them. The being a father is a never-ending education, especially when the child is not from your loins. Usually it's easier to talk to a child that's from your loins because they kind of through DNA understand how you are. Like when you
look a certain way,
right? When you look a certain way,
tone changes.
Like I was in church and my mom could turn around and look at me like, and I knew, like, nigga, if you don't sit down and shut up, that's gonna be your ass. Like I knew that,
right?
Like if it was my stepmother, I'd be like, why is she looking at me funny?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that's the type of, like when I was younger in our marriage, I wasn't able to articulate what I just said now to my wife so she can understand what's actually happening in our marriage or in our lifestyle with our children. My biggest focus for my family was to make sure that they understood that the legacy would be set when I was gone. Though a lot of people don't like to talk about death or losing a loved one.
Our kids definitely don't.
But I know it's inevitable. I know it's going to happen whether they like it or not. And for me to not prepare them or to show them that I built a legacy for them to take and move forward in their life is against God, because he says that a good man would give a legacy to his children's children, children's children's, children's children's. So so that means my work isn't done, because I haven't made enough for that many years of legacy to continue to flourish and to be
right.
So that's why I go to work as much as I do. Like a lot of people, I don't think my wife quite understands why I do what I do. Like, though I'm tired, though I don't like it, though sometimes this sucks, but this is the way I know how to make money. I'm sure there's people out there, there's gurus that know how to make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time. And hell, I wish I knew that knowledge. That would help. But this is the knowledge that I was given, and this is what I know. So this is how I'm building my kingdom. So I have to go and take the kingdom by force, just like the Bible says. I go out every day and I take the kingdom by force so my legacy can be flourished. Now, sometimes it ain't pretty. Sometimes when I explain it, it's not going to come out the way as soft as people want it they think it should be, but my words are my words, and that's just what it is.
Right.
And if you can't find love in that, then there's something wrong with you. That's how I see it.
And that's your perception of how somebody, again, we're talking about tonality versus what the person is saying. We have to stop. Some people can't deliver the message the way you feel like it should have been delivered.
Not everybody's a wordsmith.
Not everybody is, listen, not everybody is smooth like Barack Obama.
Or Dr. Phil.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Barack the smoothest. He can America.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to take all your money.
Right. And you be like,
and
okay.
You're going to like it. And you be like, oh, snap.
Right.
You know
so people's delivery, I get it. Sometimes it's not pretty. But what we got to stop doing is getting so emotional and caught up in the tonality.
Right.
And not listening to what that person just said.
And that's why.
Was it valid? Was it relevant?
Right. That's why.
Did it apply to me?
Feelings. And
that's what we like. We probably should have been teaching our kids this from the rip. So we're late in the game. It is what it is. But that's what we practice with our children now. Stop getting, and we try to check them on their tonality as well. Because we're like, just like we're telling you to not focus on what the tone is that somebody is saying to you, or what you hear, what you feel like you hear. Because really, a feeling is something you created.
And being a groom of your household carries down to the children. Like you're grooming them too for the world. Like I would think how good fathers think is that we're preparing our children to understand what the world is going to give them. So there's a little bit of what do you call it?
Coddling.
Coddling. There's a little bit of coddling. There's a little bit of protection. You got to let them fall and bump their head, but you like, I ain't going to let you bust your head open.
I'm not going to let you bust your head open, but I'm going to let you bust your ass.
I'm going to let you bust your head, but I ain't going to let you,
I ain't going to let you bust it open.
You ain't going to bleed out. Now,
right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's a lot of factors that has to do with grooming from the top down. So for me, I get my thought process and my honorability and loyalty from God, because that's who I talk to all the time. I don't know who everybody else talk to, but I speak to the man upstairs, or whatever you want to call him, the Most High, God, Allah, whoever you want to call him. That's who I'm talking to. And then he tells me, Sean, you need to sit down on that. You messed up. And then I go to my wife, hey, I messed up.
And I go, I told you.
She tried to throw it in my face. And then
I do not. Why you gonna lie to the people like that?
No, she said, you know what? It's all right. We're gonna work it out, because she's helping me meet my particular situation.
Now, the old me probably would have like, nigga, I told you, motherfucking ass.
But she know what she got.
Right.
She knew she was getting a man when she married me.
Right. I wouldn't have married him.
When we got married, she knew she was getting something that was already
He's not the first person that's proposed to me. So I wouldn't have married him. And I went off of spirituality. I went off of gut instinct. I went off of the fact that I knew about 3 years in that he was the one. And so I knew from my treatment, like I got everything that I've ever asked for and then some, to the point where I was just like, wow. Now let's we all know that let me be honest with you guys, because we transparent. Marriages are not pretty. There's times when you're gonna hate each other. There's times when you're gonna dislike each other. You don't want to talk to each other. But even in our moments of like that, we're still loving. I'm still gonna make his food. I'm gonna give it to him with an attitude, but I'm gonna make his food. I'm gonna cook for him. I'm gonna make sure this man eats because he's my protector, my provider, yada yada yada. Can I do it without him? Was doing it without him. But is that what I want? Because guess what that takes me out of? It takes me out of my femininity. And I like my femininity. I like being in my space where I get to just be a woman and be a mother and be a wife and be a friend and be the things that I'm supposed to be, that I was put here to be. I don't like to have to step into the man's world and go, I got to get out here and hustle and do these 12, 13 hours every day because I got to feed these kids and I got to put this gas in this car and I got to put baby girl through school. And I don't want that. I don't want that.
And that's okay, because that's what we agree to.
That part.
The trying to,
Jordan is on one.
Jordan is always on one. I love my cousin. Trying to understand who you were about to marry is, to me, the biggest. The engagement part of your marriage, to me, is the biggest part of your marriage, because you know exactly who you're marrying, and it gives you a piece, not a piece of something, but a piece like tranquility of how your marriage would operate, and that your covenant would be strong because you both stand on the same principles. And that's what makes me what I think is a great head of my household. And though I strive to be better and strive for perfection all the time, every choice I make is always weighed and judged by me and by other people. Some people say, hey man, I don't think you should have did that. And then I think about it for months and go, hey, did I make the right decision there? Like, do I need to backtrack? Do I need to repent? Do I need to turn around and go back to where I made the error? Or was it an error at all? And most of the time, I'm without blemish in my thought process, but I weigh everything that I do, even if I know, like if I said something that was hard and it hurt someone's feelings, I even consider that. I just don't apologize for what I said, because what I said was valid.
Right. And hearing that, here's what's funny about that. Hearing that makes so much more sense now, because that's what our kids used to want a lot of times. They was like, well, Dad don't even say he's sorry. And I'm like, well, was it valid though?
I'm not sorry for what I said.
I'm not sorry for what I said. Now I might be sorry for how I said it.
And sometimes I'll be feeling bad on how it made them feel, but the world don't give a fuck.
Right. And that's what we keep telling. Like my kids used to think, I used to tell them all the time, I would say, fuck your feelings. And they took that as me not caring about how they felt. And I told them that has nothing to do with it. I'm trying to teach you that your feelings is what you're choosing to feel. So that means nothing. We are being realistic. We're being transparent. We're being logical. When it comes down to, is there any validity in what's happening? If it is, you are choosing to feel a certain way. I didn't put that on you, so don't put that on me or anybody else for that matter, because you are choosing to feel a certain type of way. I did not tell you to feel that way. And that's a feeling is a choice, whether we want to admit it or not. Fear, that's a choice.
It's hard to, if I was going to submit to something or subscribe to something, that particular thing must have purpose on what's going to happen, or what am I subscribing to it for? Now, I'm only saying this because One Awful Day said that's a huge expectation to live up to. I know I need it to be successful, but wow, this is the wow for me. I know if I make my expectations of myself extremely high, that my legacy behind me they'll flourish. They won't be in pain. They won't hurt. They'll have what they need to flourish. That's what I'm here for. So like when I had children, I'm just not going to leave the earth and say, hey,
y'all figure this out.
Y'all figure this out. And then, by the way, do you got $20,000 to bury me too?
On top of that.
Right. That don't make sense to me. I'm not leaving you a legacy. I'm leaving you debt. That don't make sense to me.
Heartache and pain.
Right. So
Jordan is a size 18 to be exact.
well, it depends on the company of shoe. But yeah, normally I wear a 16 in Nike and then an 18 in Adidas because they make a narrow shoe. But that's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is a purpose-driven life is what every man should have, and it makes it easier for your new bride or your girlfriend or whatever you got going on to subscribe, to submit to what you are doing. It's like I believe when I decided to marry my wife and say, hey, we're getting married, I believe that she was ready a long time ago. But I was still negotiating our purpose in our covenant. So I was just like, because I mean, every day wasn't like we didn't argue much, but every day wasn't great. You know what I'm saying?
I think we can in our 12 years, we can probably count on one hand the number of serious arguments.
True.
In 12 years.
True that. Yeah.
So don't be out here lying to these people.
I'm not lying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Like
Reggie, you're right. Your feelings will lead you down a road of stupidity.
Feeling is a state of stupidity.
Come on now.
To be.
I feel like, but see, because shut up. Shut your ass up.
To be in your feelings it's not ignorance, it's ignoring. Like when you're in ignorance, that means you don't know at all. When you're in your feelings, you know what's right, but you're not choosing that path. So you decide to argue and fight it. You're in your feelings. So that's ignoring it, not being ignorant.
That's why it's called stupidity.
Yeah, stupidity. Yeah.
Stupidity means you know it.
You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you still chose the latter because you was in your feelings.
You woke up and chose violence.
You was in you was in a prideful state, and because your thought process got destroyed or hurt.
Right, because your feelings got hurt.
Right.
You chose violence.
Right. And correction is supposed to be a good thing.
And let's talk about correction. Even with friends, family, relatives, if you cannot take correction, you have a serious problem. Seriously. If I'm doing something out of pocket, correct me. If you love me, if you call me a friend, a wife, a sister, whatever, mommy, correct me if you see that, hey, you are a little bit out of character, you're a little out of pocket,
Yeah, you could do this better.
This not how you should do this. I think you could, do this a little bit better. Like, you correct me because I'm gonna correct you, whether you like it or not. And so because I love you and my love is unconditional. Right. And when I love you, I want to see you flourish. I want to see you shine. I want to see you grow so I can look and say, look at that person go. And I want to make sure that I'm there to be able to help you in that journey if necessary. And if I see you falter and if I see you kind of stepping off, I'm going, hey, man.
That should be the ultimate responsibility of everybody that you surround yourself with.
Man, because what they around you for?
Yeah, I mean,
why is you around? I don't want you. Listen, get your ass away from me.
Make me better.
If you are not making me better, you are worthless to me.
One Awful Day says, I need to start considering that every choice I make impacts the people I love, regardless of what I want to do versus what the right thing to do is. And yeah, I do. I go through that turmoil like 50 times a day.
That's hard because when you're in a position to do what you want to do what you want to do. But then you have to consider those around you. You really do.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about your children, because with your children, all you can do is point the way. It's their it's really ultimately their choice to do what's right for themselves.
I told my daughter today, I said, hey, man, I want you to understand that the parent that you have today has a lot of, we have wisdom that we wish we would have had when we were your age.
Man.
Now that we have what we have and you are your age and you belong to us, it's up to you at this moment. Take this time to understand I can make you a phenomenal life if that's what you so choose. But you got to listen. You got to take correction. You have to change your ways and understanding and not be so emotional and get that I'm here for you. I'm team you, but I can make your life phenomenal with the wisdom that I currently have.
I still say to this day that I didn't ask my parents enough questions. Even today, even as they're still here, and I still, in my thought process, was like, man, you should have asked way more questions than you did, because they're not gonna be here forever. So like I should be, and I fall short of that all the time. I should be milking all the knowledge that they can give me.
And sometimes as parents, we don't know what to tell you at the moment. We
Unless
don't know
you
what
ask.
you gotta
I don't
ask.
know what you're going through if you ain't
gotta
asked.
talk to me. Like my daughter and her boyfriend spent some time and talked to me last night, and it was just such a great time. And he thanked me to the point where I could tell it was genuine and I made some sort of impact on him. Because like I say, sometimes the spirit gets in me and I just say some shit and I be like, that's what I told you. You know what I mean? Because it don't be me, but it be the moment.
Yeah, the moment.
It be the moment. We're here for the moment to teach and to learn. And energy just moves. It doesn't go away.
Right. Reginald, you're correct. You have to be the example of what and what not to be. You're correct. And if you can live your life where you're showing an example of what to be more than what not to be, I think you won, because you're going to have both in life, because people always fall short of glory.
Yep.
So if you can, if your smiles can outweigh the frowns.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It takes, I've been complimented on my discipline lately because I used to be super angry. And listen, don't get it wrong. I'm still angry. He ain't done with me yet. I'm still working on me.
She's still the Mad Hatter.
I'm still the maddest of the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
And my kids got it. And so I try when I see it,
down to them.
When I see it, I go, oh, damn, man, that's me all day. I got to get a hold of that for her, So I work with them and I will pull their coattail, whether they like it or not, and go, hey, man, you tripping, because I see me. So that takes, oh my God, it's undescribable what that takes. Because to be disciplined enough to speak to a person with love instead of aggression and anger and wanting to fight, and then just making them understand where they went wrong and how foolish they are and blah, 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 without being verbally abusive, physically abusive, mentally abusive, that takes work. Because the first thing you want to do is look at a person and go, what the fuck is you doing? Right? But we can't always do that. You dumb, like we can't do that because of people's feelings and their emotions. And so as much as I say, don't get caught up in your feelings, that's the reality of it is that we all have them.
Yeah, I have them too. Though they don't show much.
We don't want them to be hurt.
They don't show much from me, but that I have them too.
He emotional,
especially when I'm behind my own closed doors.
That part.
Just
like he told, look at this. Like he don't want me. Like soon as this camera go off, he can't go to sleep unless I'm touching it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you my wife. I just learned how to do that, y'all.
Is that your side eye?
That's my side eye.
We've been trying to teach him the side eye. I've been trying to teach him how to roll his eyes for years.
I still can't roll it.
Because I'll be like, what if you get
rolling your eyes is
a
definitely a woman's trait, because I just can't do it.
Try it, baby. Do it like I showed you.
It don't even look right. It looks like I'm having like a heart attack or something.
So do this one. Do this one. Ready?
I can't get the eye to do that. Hold on. Let me.
Oh my God.
Let me flutter my eye like that, like you did yours. I don't have
and that. Turn your head slow when you do it.
I don't have that type of control.
You got to do it like it's
that actually hurt my eye when I did that.
It's a movie. It's like
I don't have that type of control.
You got to be like
that. It looked like you was being possessed when you did that. See, women crazy.
We are.
Women
absolutely.
Crazy.
And men make us that
way. Put
up
the question thing and see if we have any questions out there. We're getting close to
we about to get the hell off of here. We about to be outro. For real, for real.
Y'all have any questions out there? If you do, go ahead and chime on in right now. And if you would like to jump on camera or anything you would like to add to what we spoke about tonight, hopefully we help somebody.
Hopefully you understand that the word grooming isn't such a bad word. And I'm talking to my women out there who take that word and they misinterpret it for what it means.
It wasn't that many women on tonight. All the dudes was on tonight.
Nah, I think the women chimed on and didn't like what they was hearing and got off.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's how it usually goes.
Well, I'd like to thank Felina Carter. Shifty was on tonight. Reginald Stalwart, Renetta, Jordan. Let me see who else. Shea Butter Clemens and Frank. Thank y'all for chiming in and liking and helping out with the algorithm. We appreciate y'all.
Everybody share it. Yeah. This is a special episode.
Share this episode to the woman that just didn't get it.
Yeah. Because understand, like, you know,
or the guy that needs to get it.
Yeah, I know I'm heading down that road to where I start sounding like I'm bashing women, or, you know, I'm the female Kevin Samuels, whatever you want to call me.
Kevin Samuels was a great man.
But understand, I'm only making you think about the choices that you choose to make on your thought process. You're choosing to stay in a broken thought process that hasn't served you very well over time. And I'm talking to the women who are angry. Like, I've talked to women when I ask them a question and they get angry in their explanation. Let me tell you something. When you get angry in your explanation, you might be the problem.
Yeah, hopefully
you might be the problem. You might want to consider that, because I'm just asking you a simple question and you got angry while answering it.
Hopefully people can look at this episode in the future and understand where they can, you know, help themselves or help someone else, and, you know,
yeah, man. And then, you
apply this to your thought process.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all got a few seconds to give us some ideas for the next show you want, or we gonna come up with some crazy shit next week. You dig? And you know, thank you, One Awful Day. He says, thanks for the knowledge and wisdom. I always look forward to those topics and insights. And the crazy
we appreciate y'all for chiming in,
man,
too.
Y'all chime in, like, share, subscribe.
Without y'all, we wouldn't do it. So thank you for chiming on in, guys. We appreciate this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an amazing evening. We love y'all. We rock with y'all. We about to get on out this building, you dig? And you got anything left that you want to say to the Pot of Vision people, baby?
Well, you know, peace and blessings. Aloe vera lotion, hair grease and aloe vera lotion. You know, keep them elbows looking good. Mr. McGinnis.
Patricia, where the fuck you been at?
What's up, man? Love you. Oh,
Sincere appreciate you, bro. He was in there earlier.
Oh, was he? I didn't see him.
Sincere been quiet because Sincere probably had his shit turned up.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah. It was good. It's good to see y'all. We love y'all. Please chime in next week at 8 p.m. on Wednesday nights.
Hump day.
Wednesday nights.
Throw the dubs.
We've been talking about adding another day, but it's been a tough schedule this year.
Stay away from Diddy.
We don't.
Did he do it?
Yeah, did he do it? Did he do it, y'all?
Did it?
Yeah, but
Diddy, you going down?
Hopefully, you guys can take what we said tonight and apply it to your situation. If not, that's great too. If you do, that's good too.
It's your life.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. And
just understand you're gonna be single by yourself.
Much love to y'all. Don't stay up too late, because you know half of y'all got to go to work.
Yeah, so, man.
Have a good evening.
I got one thing to say. I got one thing to say.
Of course he did it.
Of course he did it. Oh, they terrible.
Yeah.
I got one thing to say. You ready?
What?
You ready?
What's that?
Drake.
Oh Lord, here we go.
We out.
Here we go.
Y'all have a peaceful night. Peace and blessings to you. I am Treasure Cheltenham. I'm one of the hams.
I'm Sean Cheltenham, and I'm one of the hams.
And we are together collectively as one unit, the hams.
We are
watching
the Ham Show. Y'all tune in next week, 8 p.m. on Wednesday nights, and Wednesday nights only on Hump Day.
Hump
Day. Run that beautiful bean footage, baby.
Bean footage rolling. We out.
Thank you.